This morning on The Dish, Chef Julia Sullivan. A daughter of the South, Sullivan studied at the Culinary Institute of America in New York's Hudson Valley before working at some of the city's top kitchens. 5 years ago, she moved home to Nashville and opened Henrietta Red, an oyster bar and restaurant named after her grandparents. But Henrietta Red is a far cry from the Nashville restaurants our grandparents would remember.
We'll go in with the tip right into this back hinge here.
Okay.
Julia Sullivan knows how to unlock a treasure.
If you hit the right spot, it's kind of like just jiggling a key a little bit.
It's part of her key to success.
You can just kind of ease into it.
Oh, there we
There
go.
you go.
Okay.
And then you'll just use your knife to scrape the muscle off the top of the shell.
I think I actually did okay.
Yeah, you did great. And what you really want to look for is these like full intact bellies you see.
Sullivan serves up a dozen varieties of oysters each night.
We can go ahead and taste this guy.
The hallmark of her restaurant, Henrietta Red.
When was the first time you had an oyster? Do you remember?
I think I was around 9, and there was a restaurant called the Rainbow Key in a strip mall on Whitebridge Road. And
good memory.
Florida themed. And my dad, he loved oysters. I tried one. I can't say that I held it down.
Sullivan has more than made up for lost time.
Order fire scallop sauce on side.
Returning to her hometown of Nashville to open her first restaurant as both co-owner and head chef.
In 2013, I feel like the food was a lot heavier. There was a lot more emphasis on Southern cooking. It felt very masculine and sort of, you know, there's just whiskey on the back bar and dark colors in the decor. And I wanted to open a place and feel like the space and the food was meant for my friends and me.
Which is what you'll find at Henrietta Red, including a wood-fired bread served with rich anchovy butter and wood-roasted Thai green curry or salsa matcha oysters.
A little spicy, a little smoky.
Yeah, like a little bit of kick. Now, does the green curry one have kick?
It has a little kick, yeah. It has lots of serrano peppers, lemongrass, turmeric, curry paste.
I hate to say this, I might be more on the matcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a smoked trout salad with house-made kimchi-style ferment and purple daikon.
This is like artwork. I don't want to touch it.
And even an appetizer inspired by her dad's old go-to starter called Poppy's Caviar.
He made a version that was sour cream, a really improvised scallion vinaigrette, and then typically like really cheap, salty fish roe from the grocery store aisle that comes in those little jars.
Right.
And so we wanted to mimic that because it's so enjoyable, kind of hits all the notes on the palate.
Henrietta Red's version includes homemade saltines and paddlefish caviar that comes from just outside Nashville.
What does Dad think of this one?
I think he's just very kind of tickled to be on the menu.
But Sullivan traces her culinary inspiration to another family on another continent, thanks to a high school study abroad program in France.
And I lived with a family that had 3 teenage kids who really couldn't care less that I was there. And so I spent a lot of time with the mother, and the mother had a beautiful backyard garden and would pull food from it for us to cook for lunch and dinner most days. And so really that was kind of the first interest I had in growing food and cooking food, and then kind of grew and evolved from there.
Especially when Sullivan chose Tulane University in New Orleans for college.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a better food city than New Orleans in some ways.
Yes. I think actually I blame my career path on going to college there.
There are a lot of different things people blame New Orleans for. That's a good thing.
Everything there is about cultural heritage. The restaurants are 100 years old. They all have stories and family history, and I just fell in love with it. And so I started hostessing and then eventually cooking as a college student before going on to culinary school.
That led to an internship
4 Julio, 4 egg.
with Dan Barber and Blue Hill at Stone Barns, followed by a job under Thomas Keller at Manhattan's Per Se. But it was at Franny's, an Italian restaurant in Brooklyn, where Sullivan says she really cooked for the first time.
They just had a style of cooking that was so infused with warmth and soul and flavor, and each dish only had really 4 or 5 ingredients. And so it was kind of about like sussing out the best qualities of all those ingredients and just letting them shine. And I think it just really opened my eyes to so much that was outside of sort of the classical technique.
At Henrietta Red, Sullivan brought it all together, a variety of technique and tastes.
The sausage is another thing we've always kept on the menu.
For the meat eaters, there's a sausage served this season with orange yogurt and farro salad.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's a really nice one. Very
orange.
kind of fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Vegetarian options include this gnocchi adorned by melted squash with pepita seeds and a Parmesan broth.
Things just taste better when they're in season. So if you're using really good ingredients, you don't have to do that much to manipulate it.
All helping Sullivan and Henrietta Red stand out in a city no longer known simply for its music.
The fact that we've kind of become a standby in this scene is pretty amazing. And
Through a pandemic,
yes,
no less.
Yeah, through a crazy time. And I think that, I think that people have come to sort of know and understand our style and what we do here, and that is special.
What do you hope somebody leaves here with?
You know, I hope feeling like they just had a good time. When you're in here and the dining room's full and there's music on and it's the right vibe, it kind of feels like a party. Those are the best nights for us, where it's busy and loud and they kind of felt taken care of.
And we help take care of you.
Yay.
Poppy's Caviar, which is truly
Okay.
delicious. Again, that house-made saltine, the homemade saltine, and the paddlefish.
Paddlefish from the Nashville area.
From the Nashville area.
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
From the Nashville area?
That's
to a
where they get
river?
the
That's where they get
caviar. That's where
the
they get the
caviar.
caviar.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but
Yeah.
from a river? I thought it was from an ocean.
Not this caviar is from near Nashville. But all the oysters that she brings in, it's literally, Gulf Coast. It's the East Coast, the West Coast, and all of that, thanks to the beauty of FedEx and technology.
Oh, my gosh. This
It's
is
delicious. With the dill and
Right?
oh man,
So good.
Yes, it is.
So good.